Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Stockton and I will be representing Team 8. This presentation is for our proposed transformation plan for UPS, a leading giant within the logistics industry. Here we have a brief overview of the logistics industry. In short, logistics controls the movement of goods from the provider to the consumer. There are two main types of logistics, inbound and outbound. Inbound logistics entails how the raw materials get from their point of origin to their destination, which includes manufacturers, warehouses, or retail stores. Outbound logistics is the process that occurs where the finished product goes out to the end user. A subcomponent of outbound logistics is distribution logistics, which focuses on the processing, warehousing, and the transportation of goods to the customer. In the United States, the two major logistic companies are FedEx and UPS. Our PESTO analysis outlines the potential positive and negative impacts that the logistics industry may face. Politically, tax regulations implemented by the government can either negatively or positively affect the industry, depending on the particular guidelines put in place. From an economical standpoint, supply and demand will heavily determine the amount of success that the logistics industry and their companies could possibly have. Culturally, the increase of e-commerce has been a huge benefit to the logistics industry. However, as technology improves, organizations are constantly looking for alternative ways to substitute logistic companies. This also plays into going green and finding ways to deliver the same service while also protecting the planet, which could be an ongoing challenge for the logistics industry. Looking at Porter's 5 forces, we have determined the biggest threats of entry to the logistics industry would be the cost of entry and the cost of funding. The bargaining powers of buyers would be medium to high because there is lots of competition to go along with low switching costs. This would be the same for the bargaining powers of suppliers. The threat of substitutes is low outside of rival companies such as FedEx and UPS. Complements to the logistics industry would be manufacturers of products and retailers or buyers who receive that product because both industries rely directly on the function of logistics and supply chain. As mentioned earlier, the biggest players within the logistics industry, especially in the United States, are FedEx and UPS, while the United States Postal Service is also a rival to both. Here we have the business model canvas for UPS. Their key activities include supply chain and freight, retail sales from their many storefronts, and of course, their package and delivery services. In order to maintain competitive, UPS is focusing on maintaining their retail footprint, reducing costs in the retail supply chain and freight spaces, such as unnecessary overhead, and diversifying to a solution provider relationship with its customers. An overview of UPS's operations clearly shows why they are the largest and most profitable logistics company in the world. UPS brought in $51 billion in revenue last year alone. In 2016, they delivered over 4 billion packages with an average of 8 million customers a day. They have over 5,000 retail storefronts, 1,800 operating facilities, and over 100,000 fleet vehicles. Their supply chain and freight services generated $10 billion in revenue for 2016 and operate in over 700 facilities. In order to keep these operations running, UPS has over 400,000 employees worldwide. Here we have the SWOT analysis for UPS, which will cover the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats they may face. Strengths for UPS included that they are serviced in over 200 countries worldwide, employing over 400,000 people. They are a global brand name and a top 500 Fortune company, with making them one of the largest package and delivery companies in the world. Weaknesses would be the union labor within the USA and disruptive technology. Opportunities include e-commerce, global expansion, technology, data-driven analytics, an Uber-like model, going green, and a shared economy. Threats to UPS would include new entrants with only a non-union labor workforce, natural disasters, exchange rate fluctuation, and unpredictable oil prices. On the plus side, UPS has a strong global presence. However, a union workforce is expensive as well as maintaining their massive fleet. E-commerce and technology bring opportunity to UPS. However, new entrants such as Amazon with non-labor workforce provide a potential threat. Our proposed transformation plan for UPS is for them to adopt an Uber-like crowdsourcing model that allows them to deliver packages. Currently, UPS owns all of its fleet, and all drivers are UPS employees. In order for UPS to get packages to the customers, it must use their vehicles and their own drivers. The process as is has a UPS-owned fleet receiving the shipment from their massive fulfillment center, transferring it to a smaller remote UPS center, then having another vehicle transport it from that remote center out to the customer. With the proposed transformation, UPS would still pick up the package from their massive fulfillment center and transport it to the remote UPS center. From there, a smartphone geo-mapped dispatch application similar to Uber will find the nearest driver so that they may pick up the package and deliver it to the customer. The app and the drivers will be available 24/7, automatically would send pickup and delivery requests, and the app will be able to guide the drivers to every pickup location and destination. The app also allows UPS to call or text a crowdsourced driver directly. A more thorough breakdown of the crowdsourced model is explained here. UPS would hire temporary crowdsourced drivers who would go through a background check similar to Airbnb and Uber drivers. The crowdsourced driver will then provide their own vehicle and insurance, must have a valid driver license, vehicle registration, and a clean driving record and criminal history. Once UPS develops the GeoMap application, crowdsourced drivers will download this application onto their smartphone. The application will be available 24/7, and drivers and UPS will be able to call or text directly. The crowdsourced drivers will use this application to pick up packages that are available, and as well as using it to assist them to deliver the packages to the right location. Drivers get paid weekly, set their own schedule, and must be 21 years or older. This diagram further explains how our crowdsourced model would work. This diagram further explains how our crowdsourced model would work. The benefits of UPS switching to this crowdsourced model are as follows. Reducing labor costs. Temporary crowdsourcing can reduce labor costs by reducing local headcount and its associated costs, such as hiring costs, wages and benefits, office space, training, and turnover. Improving margins by leveraging economies of scale. Utilizing the same technology and workflow across multiple customers, which means cost savings to UPS. They could ramp up and downsize quickly as their needs change. Free up facility space and vehicle fleet for other purposes. Without the need for additional in-house processing, UPS can reduce high overheads such as office space and costly vehicle equipment and maintenance. Overall, we hope the benefits include cost savings, process standardization, labor flexibility, improving customer service, and increasing revenue. Our hopes in terms of the economic impact with this new crowdsourced model will be to reduce costs and increase profits. By reducing employee overhead, such as price per resource, reducing fleet costs, including required maintenance on trucks as well as fuel, and reducing delivery times, we hoped that this will increase our profit margin, increase the value to customers, especially in rural areas, and increase our competitive edge. There will also be a positive effect on the environment switching to this crowdsourced model. Most crowdsourcing vehicles are hybrids or are all electric, which not only saves fuel, but is better for the environment. Fewer UPS trucks on the road means less air pollution. Here, our success measures listed on this balanced scorecard identify our main objectives and goals for UPS switching to this new crowdsourced model. Financially, we hope to reduce the cost spent on unnecessary fleet and hope to see at least a 5% increase in revenue over the next 5 years. We also hope to increase the value to our customer base, especially in rural areas. Beginning with the rollout of this new crowdsourced model, we hope to receive positive feedback from surveys conducted regarding how customers in rural areas are positively affected by this new change. Our goal is to reduce delivery times by at least 1 business day, especially to customers in rural areas. In order to do this, we must first determine the customer base to see which areas will benefit the most with this new crowdsourced model. Internally, our goal is to reduce the number of unnecessary fleet vehicles sent out to rural areas, as well as a reduction in the amount of overall fleet vehicles that UPS is operating. Our goal is to have a 100% crowdsourced model deployed and developed in all rural areas over the next 5 years. Using data analytics to determine which areas the new model would be most effective, we hope to prevent unnecessary fleet from being deployed to rural areas. Doing this, we will also compare the total cost savings with the new model versus operating the old fleet. Thank you for your time.